Hello, everyone. So, today we are going to we're going to understand how we're going to use a planetary ball mill grinder from Rustec. So, here with me, Basil. So, first, we are starting from somewhere in the middle. So, what we do here is we try to put the grinding balls into the machine and try to see whether everything is locked up perfectly. So as you see here, we do have four places to actually to put these balls. And when the balls are placed in those specific places in the grinder, we use a clamp to tight them up. And as you see here, once these clamps are tight and the balls are placed, you need to make sure that when you're just spinning these things up, it should be freely spinning. So here we do a test run before we actually actually grinding the samples. Now look at this carefully. We have placed the bowls and then we are putting the grinders. Now the procedure here is very simple. For these specific bowls, we do have specific jars. We do have specific jar closures. So that's why we have named them. And as you see in this tray, we have placed them in an order. So just to make sure that we are not mixing them up. Why we would like to have these separate caps, specific caps for each jar is actually, if something goes wrong, then we can actually trace it out, what has happened. So sample preparation is a bit tricky. As you see here, we are doing root grinding. And for root grinding, we do have these bowls, steel bowls in the jar. And actually, we are doing a trial here. So what we do here is we're trying to cut down some of those root material, and later you will see that we are not even cutting it down. We take the worst root sample and just place it inside the jar, just to see how it will be turned out after grinding. We have a lot of sample to be ground. So for this experiment, actually, we are one sample is cutting down to small pieces, and later you will see we'll be cutting it down to just two pieces. And for one job, we are just putting the sample as it is. Now here we are placing the jars again. So in this setup, we can place one jar on top of another jar. This planetary ball mill grinder from Restec is a very powerful machine. And actually, for those who are doing actually ball mill grinding, they know how time consuming it is. So with this ball mill grinder, yes, the sample preparation can take some time, but very honestly, when you prepare the sample, you can run 8 samples at once in this model, in this facility we have. And at least you can run 4 samples. So for sample preparation, you might take maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. When you master this machine, it could be even 10 minutes to sample preparation for sample preparation, because there is a cleaning process, and then there is a sample preparation process, and then you put the jars in the machine, and then you have to make sure that everything is clamped up well, because if something the other side is actually, if something goes wrong, then it won't be that easy to repair this machine as well. It will cost you a bit. But the good point is, like, if you do everything right, then yes, you don't have to worry a lot. So as you see here, we are placing the second jar on top of the first jar. So as you see here, for this jar, we are only cutting 2 pieces, just to make sure, just to see what come out of this trial, to see do we have to actually cut these root samples into 2 pieces, or can we go ahead without cutting into small pieces? Can we just use the root sample as it is? Because what I have understood is this is a very powerful machine, so it shouldn't be a problem even though we put the sample as it is. Now we start doing the clamping. So here, the important part you to understand is you need to make sure there is a green label that you can see when you look at it from the side. You can see when it is correctly clamped. So you should be able to see that green label. And also, there is a grip that you have to tuck up. And then once you having a firm, tight closure, that grip, that red color grip is making a sound, a click sound, and goes down. So then you know it, the, the clamping is fine. So this clamping step is very important. As you see, so I was pushing it up, the red color band, I was pushing it up and then turning it. And you don't have to put a lot of effort. You need to put some pressure, but not a lot of effort. So likewise, you need to make sure that it's turning freely. As you see here, so it is turning freely. Everything is good. You're looking for the green mark. You shut it down. Then we do have few programs to run this machine. For soil, it's a different one. For shoots, it's a different one. So here, for this purpose, we are using the root grinding program, which is closer to 2 minutes, and we have specific numbers for it. And we're going to check how it looked. Let's see. So we are removing the clamps. See, it's ground perfect. It is ground perfect. And I want to check whether how our trial actually worked out. Small people, pieces and big pieces, and the sample that we didn't even cut it down to two pieces. So here we decided at this moment we decided okay, we should be um, probably to check. We probably we'll run this program, the same program, 2 times for all the two, because it just take 2.5 minutes. Some troubleshooting, because we need to make sure these legs of the clamp should squeeze through these spaces, right? So we need to adjust the height of the clamp a bit. So we are running the program here again. Now we are checking the grinding, how it's perfect. Even with a one run, it was perfect. But for make sure that we are getting everything is ground up, and to make sure everything goes well, we did it for 2 times. So we are making sure that the specific jars are kept at the right place, because it will be easy. So it's not it's to make sure that we are not messing up. I guess better to use the paper bags, because when you use the plastic bags, this these samples are so finely ground, and there'll be a lot of waste, because sometimes you may not be able to get the whole sample out when you use a plastic bag. But if you use a paper bag, the sample handling is pretty easy. So we make sure we name it right. We get the sample, then we put it in the bag. So we carefully scrape it, put it like that. So this is how it should look like. In the cleaning process, we are using alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and clean it like this. Then wipe it again. Yes. Same procedure. So this part is very time consuming. It could take a lot of time, but this has to be done. You always have to make sure that this O-ring is perfectly tight up. You need to make sure that there are no damages to this O-ring, which is very important. So this is basically the whole process. This is very efficient, very effective, and you get a really good finely ground sample. Thank you.